All right, let's go. It is the Loochador Podcast. He's Billy. I am David. You've watched this before, so you know that. But this is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. They take care of you from everything, right? You need shoes, they got you. You need the grill outdoors, you got the stuff there. They got it all for you. Stop by your local Academy and shop online at academy.com to have fun out there. I feel like the ball's coming my way.
No, I was going to swat it, but now I realize I'd have something to fidget with. We'll throw it. We'll launch it somewhere at the end and see if we break something.
15 conference wins.
Oh.
Undefeated at home, 17 out of 20. A team that has beaten, not only did they take down Auburn at home that had the longest win streak, right? They took down a Tennessee team that was, at that time number 11, but they had just flirted with being top 5. Alabama, the number 2 team in the country, could be number 1, who beat the number 1 team in the country, by the way.
Yeah, in their house.
A team that had routinely been down double digits and no problem, we win at the end of games. They couldn't do it today at Reed Arena.
Well, because
the Aggies did.
Because Texas A&M is the best team they played that they couldn't do it against. And that includes Auburn. Texas A&M is as of today, you could make a case they're the best team in the SEC. Now, Alabama won it. They won the title. They have the better resume throughout the year. The last 3 weeks or so, Texas A&M playing the best basketball in the conference. Bama, like you said, Bama's been very fortunate to win some games. A&M has earned their victories. They have pulled away. They have throttled teams. They have fought like they did today until the final 60 seconds, in some instances, the final shot, final possession. They've been playing better basketball for a few weeks now. I say a few, probably 2-3 weeks than Bama. Bama's been winning, and you credit them, but there's something, where they're allowing teams to play them close. They're finding themselves in these dogfights, and they ran in the wrong dog today. You come into Reed Arena, and that crowd, and the way Buzz has his team playing defense and believing, and Dexter Dennis and Andy, and then Solomon off the bench, and the depth they can throw at you. And now get to those guys, Henry and Marble. But, man, and Gordon everybody they have coming off the bench, there's so much energy, right? There's so much intensity. They just come at you in waves. But then at the tip of the spear there, it's like Dexter Dennis's defense, and he came back from that injury. And then the combo of Wade and Boots. And Wade made a case today. I don't think he'll get it because it's been kind of he's been playing this way, but a late surge in terms of the eyes of the media. This that was a SEC Player of the Year performance. And I do think he can win it one day. But he should be getting votes for that. He certainly should be a first-team All-SEC player this year. But what he did today, that was an all-American effort. That was a heroic effort, not just by him and Boots, but that entire basketball team. And that's what makes them so exciting. And that's what leaves me sitting here today with just this, I'm just nervous. It's such an exciting feeling to know that this team's not only going to the dance, they could win an SEC tournament title. They could. It's a lot of teams will have that opportunity, but A&M and Bama certainly, without question, those are the 2 best teams in the league this year. But in March Madness, man, it's like you saw today. What you saw today, that was like an Elite 8 level game. And I love that A&M beat Bama with Miller going off like he did, with him having the kind of game he did. He was scoring at times that you just ridiculous shots, the ease at which he gets to the basket.
He's really good.
But every time he did, you know who had an answer? Wade frickin' Taylor. And then what Boots did, Boots, when Wade got in foul trouble and Boots was just staying out there, he looked exhausted.
They both outscored him, by the way. They both outscored him.
What did Boots end up with, 20?
21.
Okay.
And Wade had 28. Brandon Miller had 19.
And what this team what they do on defense. And here's Anderson Garcia again at the end of the game with a massive play defensively, also taking a charge from Miller there in the final minutes. What they do on defense. What were they at the free throw line tonight? 24-25, 27-28.
27 of 28, 96%.
Insane. That's an insane total. And they did that also Was it against Tennessee, I
Yep.
believe? Somebody they did that to, where they had, they were ridiculous from the line.
Let me just say this. Wade, 10 of 10. We get used to that. Tyrese, 10 of 10. Your two best scorers
that get to the
perfect.
line on 20 free throws.
20 free throws.
And they got out-rebounded like crazy. Bama,
And
those
they got those-
offensive
yeah.
rebounds, they're so tall and springy. And they got they probably have at least four guys that play that are at least 6'9". And it was rough,
Yeah.
but they just fight through it and they figure it out. And to get out rebounded like that, and then Bama got hot from three there in the second half, and right when they take that lead though, here comes Wade, boom, in your eye, tie game again. I thought that was a massive exchange in that game for A&M to that lead for the whole game. Then all of a sudden you look up and you're down 3, and they were struggling to score, and then boom, tie game again.
Yep.
Let's go. And I'm so happy for the players. I'm so happy for the coaches. I'm so happy for Buzz and his family. Just what they went through. And look, I mean, it's sports, but it's also, they pour so much into that. And then to see it not working out the way you'd hoped, and then to start feeling that pressure, and you're like, man, this is not at all what I thought would happen this year with this team. And the players, I'm sure, were thinking the same thing. But for them to rebound and have the kind of run they've had here, not only in the SEC, but particularly at Reed Arena, and that connection with the fans and this team, it's special, man.
Yeah.
I saw Buzz underneath after the game, and he's saying, they have all the pictures of all the teams under the wall, and he finds the one. He goes, that's the team right there. That's them. And it was, I believe, was it 80? What year was it? But the team that had won the 14
Right.
conference games, and they had, broke the record, most conference wins in the season. Nuño, you were how old in 1980?
I was 4.
Yeah, I was young too. And this is a historic Aggie team already. I think they're a memorable team that fans will remember for a long time. This is a game that fans are going to be talking about. But when I watched that game today, it felt like an Elite 8 level. Bama is a 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll be the 1 overall seed. They go win the SEC tournament. They might. But they're a 1 seed locked in. They're a Final Four and national title contender. And they played their A game. And you beat them. Their A game wasn't enough to overcome, 4-23. The crowd, that whole team, the smothering defense. It wasn't enough. That felt like a game with a Final Four berth on the line. And the reason I'm saying that is this. Today, A&M proved if they run into a 1 or a 2 seed, they can beat them. And I know this game was at home. Put those teams on neutral court. I watched A&M can beat that team. If they play in Nashville, they wouldn't meet till the final. Texas A&M can beat them. And Tennessee was really good. And I don't think they are anymore without Zakai Ziegler, but they were a Final Four contender, and you beat them, and then to beat Bama. So all these other wins are tough. Auburn on the road, Missouri on the road, beating teams like that twice, Arkansas at home. But they've gone now, in my opinion, and they've played these teams with this, seemingly insurmountable size and rolling guys off the bench. They're 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Arkansas with all their athleticism, Tennessee with their physicality and all these things that will get you knocked out in March, because most teams just can't match up with teams like that. This team has proven that they can, and today I think more so than any. So if it's Kansas, if it's U of H who lost to Bama, if it's Bama, if it's UCLA, all these mock brackets we're looking at, and we're looking like, oh, who might they play in round 2? As of today, I felt A&M was going to win this game, but after seeing it and seeing them overcome Bama playing well, I don't think there's a team in the field that A&M can't beat on a one-off. I'm not saying they're going to go run it. I think, David, they're out of the 8-9.
Yeah, they're.
But
for sure,
even
right?
if they were, I'm going, if they get a shot at a 1, they can beat them. Now, hopefully that's not until the
Sweet
second
16
weekend
or whatever. Yeah,
Nobody wants to see this basketball team right now.
100%. So, like, based on today, Puglisi texted me, are they a 4 seed? I don't think they're a 4 seed yet. I think they should be, but I think because of their non-conference, it's going to hold it. But I think as of today, they got to be a 5 seed, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the question would be, if you went one and done in the SEC tournament, would that send – and by the way, the way they're playing, I don't expect that. But if you did, would that send you back to a 6? And could they really kind of give you a raw deal and put you at a 7? I think that's their floor. But I think like as we sit here today, they probably are like a 5. Look, you don't think that team now doesn't have one of the top 20 resumes? I bet they do. And then there's the eyeball thing and the common sense thing. Like, this team has won 15 out of 18. They, we talked about all the wins. They just beat a number 1 seed. So yeah, I mean, I think you could get up as high as a 4. I don't. If they go win the SEC tournament, would they be a 3?
Yeah.
I mean, if you beat Kentucky and Bama to add to what you've already done, they probably would be. I'm okay though. Get this team to a 6 or higher, and I love it because when we were kids, Nuño, it didn't seem like there were too many Cinderellas reaching Final Fours. I know we can make comments on the exceptions, but now it happens more often. And the reason why is because the difference between number 2 Bama and number 24 A&M is what you saw today. Mm-hmm. There's real parity in college basketball, more so than ever. So the longer you can avoid those teams that are the best 4 or 6 teams in the country, the deeper you can go. And you look at like A&M. So to me, a 6 seed, you're playing a 3 in the second round, a 5. You're 5. You're playing a 4. That matches up really nicely for A&M. And then if you're a 3 and you're getting a 2 in the Sweet 16, you might not even see a 2 because a lot of 2s don't make it to the Sweet 16 anymore. So and then the other thing is, if you do, it's okay.
They can beat.
So I just, the fact that I think today they locked themselves out of that 8-9 game. Probably sitting on the cusp of a 5. They're not 1. And what you also do, and I know there are 5-12 upsets and 6-11 upsets all the time, but a month ago, we're sitting there going, are they the 11 or the 12?
Yep.
It's a big swing in what you have to accomplish early in that tournament, though no one would ever admit that, and because you see the 11s and 12s win all the time, then you can't have a bad day. But I'll say this basketball team hasn't had a truly bad day in 18 conference games. Like, I know they weren't they're not at their best at Mississippi State, and they weren't at their best at Kentucky or Arkansas. And even Arkansas, that's the closest to a bad day, and there's a million reasons why.
And they had chances.
And they had chances to win them on the road against tournament teams. If those are your bad days, they're not having bad games. They're just having where they're not on their A game. It's happened like 3 or 4 teams, maybe even in a couple of wins.
They haven't had a bad days in 2023.
No. And
so
what's the count now? Are they like 24 and 5 in their last like 29 SEC games?
Sounds right.
It's the best. I can assure you. I'll be willing to bet this. In their last 30 games, Texas A&M has the best record of any basketball team in the SEC. 30. That's like a whole regular season.
Yeah.
It's what he's done, what Buzz Williams has done here. He should be under National Coach of the Year consideration at this point.
Absolutely. Do you think he just won SEC Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, me too.
I think Wade Taylor locked up first team All-SEC. Both those things happened today.
Yeah. One of the things, so I listened to somebody post on the boards, this group acting as if they were the selection committee and kind of poking holes in people's resumes. And one of the things that they poked about A&M was not many teams get in the tournament that have 2 quad 4 losses. I think they brought up Arizona as being one of them. Mm-hmm. And the other thing they brought up, which I think it's dumb. Well, they said 2 weeks ago I wasn't sure they were in. This has been longer than 2 weeks that they've been a lock, but that is just the perception out there at times. If Tennessee victory, if the Alabama victory, if the Auburn sweep, if the Missouri sweep doesn't speak enough to get this team a top 5 seed, then
Vandy's going to be a good win.
Yeah.
If they keep, I don't know what's happening today, but
Yeah.
man, they're just fun, man. They're fun to watch. They embody everything that A&M is about. They play the right way. I had more texts from people. I have people texting me that don't know. They're just starting to watch it. I've, old football and baseball players texting me. I have friends of mine that have only just started to really pay attention because they're casual A&M basketball fans, and just people are just really. I was sitting with Brian Davis, former player, but was also on Buzz's staff, and just talking about just how hard they want this ball on every possession, and they and how badly they want to fight for it, and it's just like Solomon Washington today. What a badass effort! What a badass effort coming off the bench. He's firing up the crowd. He's getting defensive stops. He's getting rebounds. I mean, it could be
as a team.
It could be anybody on any night, anybody on any possession for that team. And, like sitting there in the last 4 minutes, I'm like, this is where like Boots has to, be that dude and step up and finish it off. And not only did he and Wade do that, but then, you got Garcia making plays. You got, was it Marble with the rebound down there? And then they're a team in every sense of the word, but they also have some star power. They're a team. They don't have like first-round NBA star power. They have star power. And hell, the way Wade Taylor's playing as a sophomore, maybe he is that guy. Some of those shots, some of those floaters he hits from where I sit when it's on the far end, I just see the ball go up, and I'm like, man, that's really far to be hitting one of those running floaters, and you just see it go in. Oh my God.
So I'll close with this. They played that game like they have a lot more games that they have to play. It wasn't like we're going to put it all for this Alabama game. They look like a seasoned team that knew they were going to win, and then what's next? That's what they look like. I bet
they're looking forward to a day off, too, though.
Yeah, they don't play again until Friday night.
That's awesome to get that. It's Friday night. I thought it was Friday early.
I thought I heard him say on the broadcast Friday night, but I'll double check.
You're probably right. That's good to know.
I believe it's Friday night.
And I guess is it set in stone yet who they're playing? Mm-hmm. So we'll probably there's a lot of games today and tonight. So will be interesting. I mean, it's not going to be set in stone who they're playing, obviously, because it's a double bye, so it's not really that much worth looking at yet. But hey, don't forget what happened there last year.
Yeah,
these two teams might meet again about 8 days from now. I mean, there's a very real chance. I mean, Bama, Tennessee with Ziegler hurt. I'll tell you the game I want to see. I would love to see the Aggies win one. I mean, I want to see them win the whole thing, but I'd love to see them win one and get a crack at Kentucky.
I do too.
I want that rematch. Look, and that'll really prep you for the NCAA tournament too, whether you win or lose. That'll be a great if they could play Kentucky in the semifinals in front of Big Blue Nation. That would be a get you ready for the tournament type of deal.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for the Luchador. He's building.
I'm ready for it.
All right.
Aggie fans are ready for it. They were incredible tonight.
They were great. It was awesome.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
The fans were so good, there wasn't a seat for me to sit in. That's how good it was.
And they didn't storm the court.
No.
Credit Reed Arena security, too. Casey introduced me to the gang that came in from Barstool that we're going to, they go around the country and court storm. And I told him last night, I go, man, I don't think y'all are going to be able to do that because there's going to be real security. And they did a good job, and the students still had a blast. Like, the students were rocking and rolling in there with those guys. They were down there. And it was a party down there on the floor. The players went to them.
Yep.
You had a nice little senior day moment for Dexter Dennis. The whole day was great. Everything about it was good from wire to wire.
I saw, by the way, as we close out, somebody tweeted out that, I guess, Buzz had spoken to the Alabama side about not shaking hands after the game if A&M won. So
yeah, Somebody said, "Oh, look at that, Bama didn't even." That made complete sense. I mean, it was. I thought that was a very good spirit of competition game. They were going at it, but it wasn't. I didn't think anything I saw was really dirty at any point.
No.
That was high level basketball, and it was high level competitive. As good as you're going to see in the college game basketball. They went at it, and they traded shots, and they traded runs, and they traded, good, clean, hard fouls. And I thought the game was a badass basketball game. And to see Miller and Wade go at it, like, one play, next play, and to see Wade come out on top and Miller foul out.
On CBS with the nation watching.
Yeah, I can't wait to go hear what everybody's saying about it. But yeah, like Bama leaving the court, that's smart, because what if they would have stormed the court and you have, with everything that's going on, that's just asking for a bad situation. So that was smart.
Yep.
And I thought the Aggie crowd did a good job too. I mean, they were chanting stuff, but it wasn't. I thought the crowd did a great job of 98% of what Buzz was asking, which was, let's keep the focus on our guys. And, I love booing the shit out of him every time he touched the ball. Yeah. That was great. I mean, that was like, that's intimidation. I mean, that's get you out of your game a little bit.
Hey, that crowd was ridiculous. So.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on Monday morning.
All right.